When the moon hits your eye like a bigger pizza pie, that's amore. When the world seems to shine like you've had too much wine, that's amore.
Alright, so we are going to be making our meatballs. Guys, this is a special recipe of meatballs. Lots of people want to know how to do this. We've never told anybody, but we're going to do it now. So, we've got here about 2.5 pounds of ground beef, lean ground beef. And to that, we are going to add...
What are we adding?
We're adding all the stuff.
I know what we're adding. What are we going to tell them?
Let's add it.
Alright, we're going to add a couple of eggs.
2 eggs.
So we got 2 eggs here we're going to throw in here to bind. Okay, so we're going to get the to bind.
Eggs are binding. That's why we got the eggs.
We're adding about a cup of Italian seasoned breadcrumbs in here. So this is all going in here. Yummy, 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 yummy. Tilt that. And about a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. So this is going in here with our eggs and our everything. We're adding, this is about a half of an onion chopped up. Now, if you can adjust this up or down if you like more or less onion, but this is about a half of an onion that we've chopped all up here. So we're going to get all this goodness.
And about half of an onion is a good amount for 2.5 pounds of ground beef.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And we've got 4 cloves of garlic that we've got chopped up in here.
We like the garlic, folks, and I'll tell you something.
Like
the garlic is key to this recipe. We like the garlic.
It absolutely is. And there are a lot of meatball recipes where they'll use a third ground beef, a third veal, and a third sausage. Okay, this is the recipe that my grandmother, who was born in Naples, made. Okay,
right.
Because they didn't have access to all kinds of really wonderful things. So this is this basic recipe, and you can change it up as you like, but this is our recipe.
Right.
So we've got about 2 tablespoons of chopped basil, fresh basil.
Fresh basil.
Oh my gosh, you guys, the smell and the flavor of these fresh herbs is unbelievable.
Can we get with it? Do you need
Would
to
you
snip
stop?
and everything?
I like it.
Good
and then
grief.
about 2 tablespoons of fresh Italian flat leaf parsley.
Oh my goodness.
Not the curly parsley. Okay, this Italian fresh leaf parsley. We're going to add about a teaspoon or so of kosher salt.
Now I got to tell you, I like salt. I like my meatballs kind of salty because I think that salt is a key thing. But you know, with the health conscious stuff.
Well, and the Parmesan cheese is salty too. So you know what? Add as you may. We use about a teaspoon, 1.5 teaspoons. And then we're going to mix. And we're going to mix and a roll, and a mix and a roll, and we're going to get all those flavors all blended together.
2 hands. You're going to mix with 2 hands.
2 hands.
Get all these mixed up, and then what we're going to do is we're going to roll these meatballs up, and we are going to fry them in a skillet, and then we're going to add them to our sauce. And what we're going to do is just brown them in the skillet, and then they'll finish cooking in your red sauce.
Yeah.
Because don't forget, your red sauce is going to simmer for hours, and so these will cook up in your... Now,
your red sauce is going to be very, very flavorful and fabulous with these pork chops in there for flavoring. So if you don't want to make meatballs, you don't have to, but come on, we're Italian people, we eat meatballs. Anyway, the flavors of this going into that sauce and mixing for the next couple of hours is going to be unbelievable.
So this is all mixed up now, just like that.
Nice mixed
up. Nice meatball.
That's a nice meatball.
Okay.
Now we're going to roll.
We're going to go over to the stove and roll the meatballs up and fry them up. And so join us over there so that we can cook them up and put them in the sauce. All right, so we've got our meatballs started here. Tammy's rolling the last of them, and we're going to fry them up here. Now, like I said before, we're just going to brown these. They don't need to be cooked because they're going to finish cooking in the sauce.
Yeah, and come look at how these are going to look here. We've got a pretty high heat going on here. So what we're going to be doing is browning these on the outside, and then they're going to go into the sauce to finish cooking. Now, our dad did not like his meatballs in the sauce. Nope. He liked them dry. So my mom would put most of the meatballs in the sauce, and then the rest of them she would continue cooking until they were completely finished in the fry pan, and then she'd have those set aside for my dad. He liked those set on top of his pasta with
no sauce. He'd put Parmesan cheese on them.
So,
how many meatballs do you think you've made in your lifetime? I know I have made thousands upon thousands of meatballs. Thousands. We once did it for the high school, for the football team. We used 100 pounds of ground beef and made 800 meatballs for a bunch of football players. We were rolling these meatballs for hours and hours and hours.
Rolling and rolling and rolling. So you want to come look at these? Come on over. Come here. Look. Is your mouth watering? Mine is! Oh my gosh! These are fabulous looking meatballs.
So with the 2.5 pounds of ground beef, you're gonna get at least a dozen meatballs depending on how big you want them. I would say at least make them this big. Don't make a tiny little golf ball size meatball. No. That's just not right. No. That's not Italian, that's not right. No. You wanna make these pretty big meatballs, and you're gonna get probably 12, 13, 14, 15 out of 2.5 pounds of ground beef, which is plenty for a family of 4, family of 6, if you figure they're gonna have a couple meatballs each.
Some people might only have one little meatball each. Others, if you have big boys like she does that are all 6.5 feet tall, are gonna have 4 meatballs each. So this pan will definitely feed your family with some leftovers, and then there's always meatball sandwiches the next day.
That's what we do. We have meatball sandwiches the next day.
Yummy.
That'll have to be another episode.
Yeah, meatball sandwiches.
A couple of these are ready to put in our sauce, and just as they get real brown, we're going to go ahead and just put them in our sauce. Just drop them in our sauce like that. And then this sauce is going to just keep simmering and simmering for several hours. Do you see how those are going in there? Now folks, let me tell you something. When all these meatballs are done cooking, get your pan, drippings, grease, the onions, the garlic, and dump all those drippings right here in your sauce.
Well, not all the drippings. I mean, come on. Depending on how many drippings you have. If you have a lot of drippings, then you're probably only going to want to use a couple of tablespoons of it. Well, we're using fairly lean ground beef here.
This is lean ground beef.
Exactly. But the flavorings that are all sauteing in the bottom of that pan that are going to go in here too. I mean, this is what's going to make this sauce so unbelievably fabulous.
All right, so we are going to let this sauce simmer for a couple of hours. We're going to have some wine and relax, and when we come back, we're going to dish up some spaghetti and meatballs with a nice red sauce. It's going to knock your socks off.
Okay, we are back. We have our gorgeous spaghetti and meatballs with sauce right here. This sauce and meatballs have been simmering over there in the pot, going away, getting happy, doing all that stuff for about the last 2.5 hours. And I'm going to get right to it because she told me that I talk too much.
We've been kind of getting happy ourselves with this wine for the past 2.5 hours.
But we're gonna top this now with some fresh grated Parmesan cheese, which it's going to start melting in here with these meatballs and the spaghetti with the fabulous red sauce. Oh my gosh!
Can I smell this? Can I plate it up now?
Yeah, we can. I want a little bit extra parmy.
Okay.
You guys.
Oh my goodness.
You guys, come on.
First of all, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Intoxicating Italians. We've enjoyed this, and I can't wait to.
This is your basic Italian dish, you guys.
I'm gonna have some of this meatball. Obviously, we can't talk because we're a Mangia here.
Okay, the sauce is so incredibly flavorful. These meatballs, because I had one earlier, are unbelievably fresh. You can see the fresh herbs in here. The cheese is melted.
I didn't see any. I didn't see that. Good?
You want to see it now?
No, I don't. I don't want to see it now. All right. So that's it.
This is fabulous. Bon appetit.
Bon appetit. Salute to you, sister.
Sister. Love you, baby.
Love you too. Thanks for joining us.
When the moon hits your eye like a bigger pizza pie, that's amore. When the world seems to shine like you've had too much wine, that's amore.